Bahay, Baboy, Bagyo is a children's game where the kids are grouped into trees and an it is designated. In each group, two of the kids hold hands and act as a bahay, while the remaining one enters inside the space in between the bahays as the baboy. The it will then chant Bahay, Baboy, Bagyo repeatedly until the it decides to stop at any of the three words. If the it stops at bahay, those who have the bahay rows should switch partners and enclose a baboy. If the it stops at baboy, those who have the baboy rows should find other bahays to stay in. If the it stops at bagyo, all must regroup. The child left without a group would become the next it. As familiar as the game is for most of us, it hides an important reminder that we always tend to forget, especially in times of calamity: typhoon safety preparation. Typhoon is one of the most destructive natural disasters that terrorizes our country aside from earthquake and volcanic eruption. Unfortunately, this is also one of the most common calamities that we Filipinos experience. Typically, we have about 20 typhoons year after year, with 6 to 9 of them making a landfall. The number of injuries as well as deaths brought by its destruction continues to rise instead of fall as a result of the public's lack of preparation and information about disaster risk reduction. Proper information regarding survival and preparation is needed to ensure you and your family's safety in times of crisis. This video will provide some typhoon disaster preparation tips, especially on what you should do before, during, and after a typhoon. So, how do we survive a typhoon? Before answering that question, we should first know what are typhoons. Typhoons are strong circulating weather systems that form over tropical seas and oceans, just as in our country. They are accompanied by massive thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, and very strong winds. Typhoons are the reason for 78% of the death in the Philippines and 79% of all the economic losses brought by natural calamities. Typhoons pose a great danger, not only because of their instant effects like flooding or destructive winds, but also their after effects such as the spread of diseases or injuries. Now, here are some disaster risk reduction techniques to keep you and your family safe in an event of a typhoon. Before a typhoon, you should: Number 1. Examine and strengthen your house. Check for leaks in the roof and add heavy objects to prevent them from getting blown by the wind. Secure all properties that are located outside the house that could get blown off by the wind or washed away by the flood. Number 2. Prepare a list of emergency numbers such as PAGASA, NDRRMC, MMDA Flood, Bureau of Fire, Philippine Red Cross, Philippine Coast Guard, NDSWD, as well as numbers of your family members and relatives in case of an emergency. Number 3. Prepare an emergency escape plan, complete with the location of the nearest evacuation centers and routes that you can use in case the streets get flooded. Number 4. Prepare a disaster supplies kit consisting of water, food, battery-powered radio, flashlight, whistle, and extra batteries. Number 5. Secure your belongings inside the house and pack up the necessary things in case of an evacuation. During the typhoon, you should: Number 1. Stay indoors and prevent from going outside unless absolutely necessary. Regularly, check for updates by watching news in the television, listening to the radio, or visiting news websites on the internet. Also, be aware of announcements regarding evacuation and water levels in rivers and dams that are near your area. Number 3. Transfer important belongings as well as electrical devices in a safer and higher area in case of flood. Number 4. Do not walk or swim in flood water. Flood water is full of filthy and hazardous material that can get you sick. If you ever need to walk on flood water, use rain boots or other kinds of feet protection. Number 5. Evacuate as soon as possible, once the announcements are made, and follow evacuation instructions. Be sure to lock your house and secure everything before evacuating. After the typhoon, you should: Number 1. Avoid going outside until it is safe. If you are in an evacuation center, wait for the official announcements before going back to your home. Number 2. Remove the collection of rainwater from old tires, empty bottles, and cans to prevent the spread of diseases. Number 3. Beware of dangerous animals such as snakes or rats that may have come out because of the typhoon. Number 4. Beware of exposed wires from broken posts that might electrocute you, as well as standing puddles that you might fall into. Just like in the game, one small mistake can cause you to become the next it, or in this case, endanger you and your family's lives. Sufficient information and advanced preparation, as well as mental alertness and calmness, can make a large difference in times of bagyo.
As the saying goes, preparedness is the only way we can combat a natural disaster.
With these in mind, would you become the next it?